This photographer has a special hobby. Every time the photo is taken, I have to stab someone. And the person who was stabbed is not afraid. Instead, it feels like liberation. Even to the extent that I still want to firmly remember the photographer's face in my heart. The reality of the fifth personality colossus. Each country must play the fifth personality game. Play as humans and butchers respectively. Engage in a battle for national fortune. The character I am using is photographer Joseph. A waste role recognized by various countries. But it's just such a useless character. Just a few minutes. Capture all the participants from the UK. After the match is over, the voice of the estate owner also sounded. In the settlement of the game, 50 points in the match have been eliminated. Survivor points settlement. Washaw scored 50 points. Washaw currently has 159 points. When Joseph's shadow reappeared on the high platform, the audience seats in Washaw, a sea of thunderous cheers erupted. No one asked me about the butcher this time. The entire barrage is densely packed. Just 2 words, Emperor 2. My consciousness has just returned. Li Lao and 3 teammates gathered around. Are you tired? Do you have anything you want to eat? I'll have someone prepare now. I looked at the tablet that Chen Lao was holding and smiled slightly. Want to eat stir-fried tomato and scrambled eggs? After taking note of the content of the remaining team members, General Li. I was just handed over to the curious team members behind me. After a brief explanation, I looked at Mr. Li. Li Lao, I have something I want to discuss with you. I want to play 3 games every day. I forgot to mention it yesterday. Li nodded excitedly. There's nothing else I want to show you. You can speak first. I directly expressed my thoughts. I want to play 3 games every day. When our team entered the arena as a survivor faction, there are other matches that match me. So could you please arrange for other players to take the stage? I was very embarrassed when I said that. Failure means death. Although it's normal in the current situation. But that is also the life of our fellow countrymen. Upon hearing these words, Mr. Li was taken aback. Play 3 games in total. Arrange other teams during his absence. This child is under a lot of pressure. Thinking of this, Li Lao looked at him firmly. Everyone is ready to go into battle. You are right. You've done enough already. After speaking, he smiled and asked me to open the shopping mall panel. When you just went up to the game, I bought you some small things. Can you take a look at our panel? I opened the panel, when more than 40 survivors were found mocking actions. I was completely stunned. What do I say after the game ends? Before the introduction of point coins, there were still few available. So this is too expensive. Li Lao looked at me with a surprised expression. I just think these 45 points are worth it. Immediately afterwards, I took a deep breath. Looking at Mr. Li. Li Lao, please register. Play the second game. Countries haven't even had a chance to analyze it yet. Joseph used by Chinese athletes. How exactly is it operated? When I saw Washaw rejoin the matching team. What the hell? I remind of it. You can play up to 3 games a day. Isn't it too late to enjoy the joy of victory? We need to output it. A country that loses cold knowledge. It is also possible to match with Washaw. Lost twice, lost twice. As soon as this concept came out, everyone remained silent. Kangaroo Kingdom and Asan are after Washaw. These 2 countries went on stage to confront each other. Their commander witnessed this scene. My face has turned pale. They feel that there is a high possibility that it will be their turn. Everyone wanted to match Washaw before. No one wants to match Washaw now. Many commanders are already pondering. Match again to Washaw. Does this character still have meaning? McCann thought of the 4 points spent by Washaw. I directly dialed the phone number of Commander Zahir from Shonguo. I would like to exchange some information. Jashir received. When talking on the phone, I know what the other party wants to ask about. Do you have anything to exchange? Mackenzie was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Joseph's game just now. They lost so badly in England. Well, send around to exchange this information. Zahir squinted his eyes at the words. I traded it for a draw myself. Why aren't you enough? McCann endured his anger. Pinch your fist. Offer 3 characters at a price and receive 10 points as a bonus. McCann took a deep breath. I agreed. Good deal. But Mackenzie, who received the information, was furious. I almost smashed my office. What's the use of changing actions for all 40 to 50 points? No, that's not right. The exchange of these items by the other party must have special significance. Zahir on the other side has some doubts. Spending 4 points on stage. Something that can be experimented with on its own. Why spend 30 minutes asking me? Are you sick? McCann sneered. Britain disdains to do these tracking tricks. After finishing speaking, he hung up the phone. Listened to the melodious sound coming from the other end of the phone. Zahir was stunned for a moment. Then he sneered. It doesn't matter if you earn 30 points for nothing. Although we agreed to give Washaw a draw, but I can still play 2 more roles. Get an extra 10 points out. After thinking about it, I will give away an extra 10 points. He was extremely happy. Waj must also be pleasantly surprised, right? just thinking that they might be able to accumulate experience in dealing with legendary regulation. He was extremely excited. McCann's perspective has become smaller. Washa training room. Taking advantage of the second formation time, I gave a small lesson to other contestants again. Not long after, suddenly, the voice of the estate owner came from above. Match successful. Battle country Sakura country. Everyone was stunned for a moment upon hearing these words. Then I saw the contestants from Sakura country directly confirm the selection to enter the field in seconds. When Zhang Li saw the survival camp, I jumped up excitedly. You can touch the box now. Li Lao looked at the four of them. I wanted to give a few words of advice, but the words reached the throat. Or has it become something else? The meal is ready. We'll have dinner when you come back. 4 people take a step forward together and pull out the contestant. The general is ready. Next second, the consciousness of 4 people appeared simultaneously in the dark room. See the interface for selecting characters. 4 people exchanged a smile at each other. Directly triggered the opponent's red butterfly and nightmare. This is Sakura country's most skilled regulatory tool. Seeing the Washa-like regulation, Xiaoqi Lang gave a cold laugh. He knew it. Nowadays, the probability of survivors winning is very high. When countries randomly enter the regulatory camp, they will try various types of regulation to determine which one you know better, which one is easier to pick up in the eyes of others. In the supervision of Sakura country's entrance, Nightmare, Red Butterfly, and Jack, the highest number of appearances. But Sakura country actually has another one. The number of appearances is second only to the supervision of these 3 roles. The winning rate is also the same as the first 2 videos. That's the clown. Among their regulatory players, there is a person whose sawing and driving skills are simply top-notch. The Joker's winning rate in Sakura country is only 60%, but this person's winning rate is as high as 90%. The overall winning rate is always pulled down by others. When looking at the familiar map of Sacred Heart Hospital, Sakura contestants breathed a sigh of relief. HMPH. This time, it is necessary to win all the players from Washa. On the other side, we also quickly determined our lineup. Lawyer, prisoner, wealthy and forward. The audience was somewhat surprised to see this lineup, because this is not the perspective lineup chosen by each country's stadium. When the character of Dafu was selected, the team members in the training rooms of various countries have furrowed their brows. Because of the character of Dafu, in their eyes they are relatively weak. The large prop is a hypnotic pocket watch. The function is hypnosis regulators within a range of 27 meters. Make it hallucinate within the next 10 seconds. Only able to see a large illusion from 1 second ago. Want to do it simultaneously. The first mate will receive a 10% speed increase in this state. This character has been used by a country before. I don't think this is a strong character. And the role of a prisoner is even more vulnerable. He can see the repair status of all motors on the field. And connect the motor. When the connected password machine is decrypted, can communicate progress with each other. This was originally a great skill, but there will be a loss of decryption progress during the transmission process. Another skill, it can be monitored with skill electricity for 1 second, but what can 1 second do? When I saw this character, no one understands. A role that will cause loss of transmission progress. There is no need for it to exist at all. Let's take a look at the forward of Washa, Kogoro. He even laughed out loud. If one chooses other regulators at home, this forward might even be able to run with the ball. But this time they chose the Joker. The speed of the clown is not inferior to that of the forward. At this point, Zhang Bai and the others have already followed my pre-match explanation, carrying their own skills. Among them, Zhang Bai and Zhang Li, carrying the ability to turn danger into safety and bring back light. These 2 words. In his past life, he was also referred to by players as fight to the death and big heart. The lawyer carried a big heart and double straps. And besides carrying a dual flywheel, I also ordered another one. Little fans who explode regulatory mentality. Triple strength and triple shaking. The function of cohesion is to hit the regulator with a wooden board. The dizzying response speed of regulators will be reduced. 3 shakes, also known as survival consciousness. The function is to be tied to the balloon when increase struggling speed. Even if it's a forward, they will definitely fail. You can also try to break free from the balloon yourself. After the countdown ends, 5 people enter the game simultaneously. I looked at my birthplace, suddenly laughing outside the cabin. Next it is the invincible ruins. A drill bit shimmering with a cold metallic color on the ground. I immediately knew that regulation was a clown. Here, the other teammates also saw drill bits scattered all over the ground. Zhang Bai just paused for a moment. I ran towards the nearest password machine. I looked at the board in front of me. Without hesitation, directly board the board. At this moment, the clown was searching for props on the ground. He plans to collect a set of propeller sealing drill bits first. When sawing and running, by the way, you can also collect other things. He was also somewhat distressed when he saw the hospital. If the survivor runs towards the 2nd floor, he can also be very troublesome when sawing. Just as he was collecting a set of fully matched clips on the chainsaw, When contemplating where to go next, there was a loud explosion coming from not far away. The clown licked his tongue and repaired the machine so quickly that it exploded. How could Washa make such a mistake? But it's okay, you ugly guy is here. And the audience outside made a decision as soon as they saw me start the game. I was suddenly shocked. No, buddy, I don't know if you're real or fake. Except for the failure of machine repair and calibration. Will making a decision also be explosive? After I took photos of the board, run towards the password machine in the small wooden house. After connecting the electric field, I started repairing the machine directly. The audience cannot see the names of survivors and supervisors. I don't know who the user of this prisoner is. Everyone is very speechless about my decision to start the game. Hey buddy, you're not leaving yet to report the location. The clown came straight over with a tug of war. Washa Management Bureau. I immediately connected to Li Lao's phone. Lao Li, what's wrong with you guys? Although Chen K was able to collide back, contestants can't waste their points like this. Not talking about scores. Don't they take their own lives seriously? Listen to the blunt insults. Li Lao Ku laughed heartily. This prisoner is Chen K. I heard the words Chen K. The anchor on the other end of the phone was like a deflated balloon. Oh, it's him, then. Okay. After speaking, the phone rang out with a loud bang and was hung up. At this moment, the clown has arrived at the wooden house. Recently, I am still repairing the machine. The Chinese audience outside the venue is anxious. Okay, we're still repairing the machine. You don't want to live anymore, do you? I am really angry for the Tawang. At this moment, my heart had already started beating. But I didn't let go. Sakura Country Joker sees me still focused on repairing the machine. He rushed straight towards me and killed me. Many viewers have already closed their eyes after being punished. They seem to be able to anticipate the outcome afterwards. And I calmly send a message to my teammate. The regulator is near me. Viewers from other countries witnessed this scene. They started mocking one after another. Now tell your teammates what's the use of monitoring near you. Who do you blame for summoning ghosts yourself? I can't see their messages. I sent a message to my teammates. I want my teammates to know my position. If holding a knife is convenient for the forward, be sure to close it. The subsequent rescue also tells teammates to focus on repairing the aircraft. Zhang Li received a signal. I just feel an unbearable itch in my heart. When do you hold a knife? Then I can stop begging for help earlier. Looking at the box nearby, he glanced at the password machine beside him again. Oh my god, the matter has come to this point. Let's get off the list first. He thought of the method I told him. Excitedly wiped the corners of his mouth. Except for the lucky ones. A survivor can only carry one prop at a time. But I taught him a way. Just keep picking up. You can constantly replace the props on your body. Then transport it forward. Supervision cannot use props thrown by survivors on the ground. It cannot be destroyed either. So even if it's thrown on the ground, it doesn't matter. On the other side, I watched the clown rushing towards the door. Run directly towards the window position. And the clown saw me flipping through the window. Excited up. Do you dare to flip over the window? Aren't you afraid of intimidation? Then he rushed towards me. At the moment when the clown was about to hit me, it'll just hand over the electricity directly. The clown trembled in place twice with the wireless in his hand. Saws have also been abolished. I could only watch helplessly as I flipped out the window. He can even see me flipping through the window. Just stand outside the window and watch him. The electric field will end soon. Sakura Country Joker followed and flipped out, flipping and cursing at me while trying to kill you. He admitted that he was a little red. I saw the other person flipping around. Run directly towards the position of the board. The electric field can still be charged without stepping on it. Can you go around a few more times? At the corner, the clown remained motionless. Started assembling props for his chainsaw again. I couldn't help but laugh at this. The saw will be broken by the electric field electricity later. You know you stepped on electricity. After the clown assembles the props, I have already run towards the direction of the window. He saw this turn. He rushed towards the window again. When he rushes over, I am another window turner. The clown was slightly stunned. Then he entered the cabin from the position of the board. I flipped it out again when I saw this. Does this clown not even cheat? That's too straightforward, isn't it? Actually, it's not surprising that the clowns in Sakura Country are too straightforward. He also wants to go into the cabin before entering, suddenly making a big turn. Just give me a blowback gun. But the problem is that he won't directly reverse it, so we can only chase through the two doors of the small wooden house. A few back and forth like this. Let him find the small wooden house annoying for the first time. The crowd watching the game looked at each other in confusion. Is this clown so easy to restrain? This clown feels a bit. What's wrong with the clown? Sakura Elementary School Jiro clenched his fists even tighter, looking expressionlessly at the arena. After the clown ran several times in a row, electric shock progress bar accumulated by the cabin motor. It's already full. After a surge of electric current, Joker's fully equipped chainsaw is once again scrapped. The number of times the prisoner appears on stage is not many. Even if he appears, after knowing that the transmission decryption would slow down the progress, The few prisoners wouldn't even take the initiative to connect. No one knows that getting an electric shock in an electric field will cause it to stop moving. Ugly looking at the continued accumulation of electric shock progress. To avoid being clicked again, step on the connecting piece under the motor directly with one foot. Immediately after, the purple electric field disappeared from the cabin. The purple power connection in the void also disappeared without a trace. The clown who has completed all of this, gradually returning to normal from a constant temperature state, looking at me standing outside the window. Without hesitation, he followed and flipped over. I thought I would run towards the outside, but in the end, I found myself back in the cabin. During the pulling process, I received a progress message from my teammate regarding the decryption. The progress of the chief officer's cipher machine decryption is 25%. Lawyer's password machine decryption progress 34%. The forward has obtained the prop signal gun. The moment I saw the signal gun, it became fierce. Even if we switch to a city level forward, player or treasure box monster. But at this moment, the clown of Sakura country is anxious. Quickly open the skill panel. I want to release a dog. Then bite down on this damn prisoner. It was when he saw the auxiliary skills he was carrying. I am dumbfounded. I am listening to this game to find someone. I didn't have a chance to switch to other skills. He was so angry that he even fantasized. If only I could change my skills. But reality is always cruel. Unless carrying a trump card. Otherwise, one cannot replace their auxiliary skills. And as I watched myself, the window was almost closing. I glanced at the wooden houseboard again. Immediately remembered, just cover him up, by flipping through the window and catapulting to the invincible ruins. The function of bounce reflection is to cross over the window. Increase movement speed by 50% during sprinting. Lasts for 3 seconds. Cooling time 40 seconds. After crossing the template, increase movement speed by 50% during sprinting. Lasts for 3 seconds. Cooling time 40 seconds. Independent calculation of cooling time for 2 effects. If it is outside the realm of regulators, the increase in movement speed is reduced to 25%, because of 2 catapults, so it is also referred to as double bullet by many players. The clown looked at the bald disciples who kept circling around him. I was so angry that my whole body was trembling, even considering finding other survivors. In thought, he came back behind the board again. He is already prepared. If the prisoner is still waiting at the board for him to follow up, he will immediately replace the person. But this time, he didn't see any footprints on the window. No one saw the prisoner either. Can be viewed from the audience's perspective. The prisoner stood behind the wooden board. By extending the wooden board, blocked his own body. What is he going to do? Is there a blind spot in the viewing angle? There is a precedent for walking dogs in the past. Everyone just wants to know. Clown, can't you see the prisoner hiding behind the wooden board? Then flip over the window directly. Go in circles with yourself. Can be next second. My operation stunned everyone.